Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and here we have a game between Liquid TLO, the purple Protoss up here on the top of Lost Temple, and MorroW, the pink Zerg over on the right-hand side. These guys are playing in a best-of-3 series right here in the round of 16 of the most recent TL Open. They are playing for a chance at $100 and a qualifying spot for the much larger tournament, the TSL, sponsored by PokerStrategy.com. So the $100 is just a drop in the bucket compared to what they could win in the TSL. So they're going to be playing their hearts out trying to get there. And this is just the round of 16, like I said. I'm going to continue to cast a lot of games from the TL Open, including the round of 16, round of 8, semifinals, and finals, just for the people who missed them. And I want to see them anyway, because I haven't actually watched any of them. And this tournament field is quite stacked. There's a ton of great European players. This edition of the TL Open was actually hosted on the European server. It actually bounces back and forth between the North American server and the European server, so any players who are able to participate can try to qualify for the TSL. The reason they don't host on the Asian server or the Korean server or the Southeast Asia server, whichever you want to call it, is because they're actually going to invite some top Korean players to play in the TSL. They don't actually need to qualify. There's going to be some invite slots for those guys. So all these Europeans, North Americans, and South Americans trying their best to win each and every week in these TL Opens for their own spot. And TLO and MorroW are just two very good players playing today. We also saw Show, White Raw, the finalists of the IEM European Championships last weekend. They are both playing in the TL Open today. And a couple of great players like Sock, Night End, Kiwi Kaki actually played in it, Druby played in it, and you know, just a very, very good field all around, and I want to cast as many games of it as I can. Big thanks to Team Liquid for releasing the replay pack so quickly after the tournament was actually finished up. Both of these players actually I've cast recently. Liquid TLO played against Kiwi Kaki in a game on Delta Quadrant, and MorroW played a game against Kiwi Kaki here on Lost Temple. Both of those involved motherships, so I advise that you go check those out if you haven't seen them already. They're very entertaining games. But I don't imagine we're going to see a mothership here just because TLO is actually playing random now. He didn't choose Protoss, so he probably doesn't have that many mothership builds worked out in PvZ like Kiwi Kaki might from laddering all day. So both of these players want to play safe. They want to do what they know will work effectively. Don't want to try anything too crazy. TLO actually has a probe down here blocking MorroW's path if he wants to choose to build a hatchery, but it looks like he hasn't been too interested in it just yet. These first 4 lings are going to pop out. I'm sure they're going to be able to ward away this probe. No problem. TLO has a couple of zealots out, but it doesn't look like he's going to be too aggressive with them. He's just checking out the Xel'Naga Tower while his Cybernetics core completes. He's got a second assimilator coming as well. MorroW, on the other hand, has Zergling speed started. Obviously, he pulled all these drones out of his extractor after he hit 100 gas, and soon he'll have to decide whether he wants to get a Roach Warren, a Lair, or what. Oh, check the production tab. You see a Stargate coming up right now, right next to the mineral line of TLO. Probably going to be seeing some Void Rays and Phoenixes here in the near future. Phoenixes, of course, build faster than they ever have before since the most recent patch made them build extremely quickly. We've been seeing them a lot more in this PvZ matchup. They've always been actually really good against Zerg, but now there's really no excuse not to build them. You can lift queens with Graviton Beam and destroy them, kill all these overlords, force your Zerg opponent to try and get some anti-air out as quickly as possible. You can also supply block them so very easily that even if you have just a few tier 1 units on the ground, you will not be able to reinforce because they don't have any overlords up. Oh, and check this out. He's actually getting air weapons level 1 out of his Cybernetics core. He didn't even research warp gates. Check that out, guys. That's some interesting play. So it looks like he's going to have a heavy air focus. Chrono boosting out this first Void Ray and chrono boosting air weapons level 1. That is going to be very sick against MorroW, who doesn't even have a lair started yet. So he is getting an evolution chamber at least. He did not see... Oh, he did actually see that Stargate. There must have been an Overlord in the area. But now he's getting that evolution chamber for some Spore Crawlers, no doubt. His first Void Ray is out, and a Phoenix has begun building actually immediately after. Void Ray just hanging out here. A second Queen has come out. Is he going to actually build some more at his other hatchery? It doesn't look like it. He's got a Spore Crawler in the mineral line, actually at each base. Void Ray has arrived, starting to charge up, and this Phoenix is already out. See how quick that went? But 2 queens trying to work on this Void Ray. The single Phoenix lifts this one up, so it is going to get focused down first by the fully charged Void Ray. That now it's just 1 queen against a Phoenix and a Void Ray. MorroW actually probably could take out this Void Ray no problem with that second queen, but this Extractor now being focused down and a second Phoenix showing up. This queen does not stand a chance with a Phoenix and a fully charged Void Ray shooting at it. Neither does this one, as long as TLO has some Graviton Beam juice left in his Phoenixes. It doesn't look like he does, though, so he's going to be forced to retreat for the time being with that Void Ray. Doesn't want to lose that guy. He is very, very low on health. Going to let those shields regenerate. Spore Crawler did pick up and move during that encounter, and a lair has been started. Another Spore Crawler already down here at the natural, and 2 more Spine Crawlers coming up. Another queen being trained, probably, actually not at this one, obviously, because it's becoming a lair. TLO expanding here at his natural. This Overlord is catching vision of all of that, but really the main focus here is the Stargate and what is coming out of it. 2 Phoenixes coming back here. The Spore Crawler interestingly placed at the top of the ramp. Going to keep this Phoenix away from that area at least, but this Overlord is going to bite the dust quite soon here. This single queen most likely going to be lifted up next. There is enough energy on each one of these Phoenixes for another Graviton Beam, or at least there will be soon. There goes the first Graviton Beam, and that queen is going to be lifted and destroyed. This Void Ray, again, still in the red health, but now there are 2 fully charged Void Rays. MorroW does not have a Hydralisk Den completed. You see it building there in the production tab. He is getting 2 more queens out now. The Spore Crawler is out of range. This lair is being focused down. Is MorroW going to lose his lair to just 2 Void Rays? Another queen pops out here and starts focusing the wrong Void Ray. He's attacking the one with full health and shields. Now he switches over to the red health one. Is he going to be able to kill it? 1 more shot. Yes, he does, but the second fully charged Void Ray does manage to take out the lair. MorroW, that is a huge loss for him. You see the income just drop steadily for him at this point, so TLO taking a massive, massive advantage there by killing off that lair. No gas income, just minerals right now out of MorroW, despite having 14 more harvesters. TLO transferring some probes now to his newly completed Nexus. He knows about this Overlord over here. He's just going to very quickly, swiftly take that out. Another gateway being built right now, so now he's on 3 gates. Is Warp Gate finished yet? Yes, it is, so he can go ahead and flip these over anytime. Probably as soon as this Zealot finishes, he'll go ahead and flip these into Warp Gates. The Stargate's still busy, has not stopped producing things. There's, let's look at the units tab. 1 Void Ray and 3 Phoenixes out right now. He's just doing some scouting here, seeing the Zerglings taking out the destructible rocks over at the gold base, and now he's going to start floating around the natural here of MorroW. He does have a few Hydras and a couple of Queens, as well as a Spore Crawler here to try and defend against this. TLO, his energy is actually getting a bit higher now. He does have enough for 2 Graviton Beams, soon will be 3. He does have another Phoenix in the air. Now it's coming to join that main force. Another Phoenix being built, a robotics facility being built, and just a couple of pylons as well. So these 3 Phoenixes getting ready to move soon. Void Ray charging up on the destructible rocks. Probably just going to go ahead and finish that off so that he can expand again if this gets into a later game. MorroW, of course, did rebuild his hatchery and is starting to get a... Actually, no, not even starting to getting another layer. He's just focusing all his gas now on Hydralisks. He's getting Hydralisk range upgrades, spreading these creep tumors as much as he can. MorroW is actually very well known for his excellent creep tumor placement. He's actually quite good at spreading creep for a Zerg convert, but TLO showing some great play as Protoss, even though he did start this match as a random player. These Phoenixes and Stalkers moving in now. Spinecrawler's a little bit out of place, and now that they're rooting in, TLO can actually move up the top here and basically avoid these Spinecrawlers altogether. We'll see what he chooses to do. These 5 Phoenixes have so much energy between them. He can just start lifting drones over and over, killing off any queens that are in the area. Lair started now again at the main of MorroW. That gold base has not finished yet, but it will be soon. Queen lifted and destroyed. Hydralisk coming back to try and deal with these Phoenixes, but they're just so fast, and of course, since they can shoot while they move, they're going to be able to take out these Overlords no problem. MorroW is supply blocked right now. Another Void Ray coming out and a Colossus coming out for TLO. I don't see how MorroW is going to be able to battle this back. Losing that lair was just so huge in just losing production capability, losing income capability, and obviously tech. So TLO just taking a big advantage there in that early game means that he's going to ride it most likely to the end. Colossus, we got extended thermal lances being upgraded. We got another Void Ray coming out. Let's look at the unit tab. 2 Void Rays, 2 Phoenixes in the air right now. Decent size. Tier 1 force here, Zealots and Sentries and Stalkers on the ground. A Nexus coming up here at the gold base for TLO. Let's check the income tab. 62 drones for MorroW, 53 probes for TLO, but TLO should have the supply advantage for sure. 100 supply against 100 supply. Actually, no, not too much of an advantage. So MorroW actually, it's a good thing he didn't just give up when he lost his lair, but MorroW has left the game. So that happened. I guess that means the TLO won. Actually, because the supplies were so even, it's kind of hard to argue one way or another. They didn't have any upgrades. Probes were kind of being pulled. I'm not sure why there were 6 probes out here in the middle. There are a lot of Hydralisks and Zerglings and a few Queens. Lots of drones just doing their work. He did lose a tech structure right there. It looks like no, he just canceled the tech structure. So interesting that MorroW would just leave the game without a GG, especially in this manner when the game is actually probably the closest that it's been the whole time. But now we're going to move on into Game 2. I do believe that the admins or whoever decided that TLO actually won this game since he stayed in. So we're going to go into Game 2 now.